Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I'm Sean Anderson, Most Valuable Podcast, and this is our season prediction for the Pittsburgh Steelers for the 2018-2019 season. Now, I have had some history with Steelers fans, as I'm a Patriots fan. You guys are so welcoming and warming to my predictions for your team. I consistently pick you to be 10 or 6 and worse, and this is no different. So we're going to go through your team and go through your games, and I'm going to tell you which games you're going to lose and which games you're going to win, and you're probably going to lose Week 15 against the Patriots. Let's jump in. Week 1, you're taking on the Browns. Browns have improved. They're not improved enough to beat the Steelers Week 1, especially when you guys are going to be full forced. Steelers get the win Week 1. Then Week 2 against the Pat Mahomes-led Chiefs. While I do think Pat Mahomes does have a bright future, I don't think he's going to be beating Pittsburgh in his, third career start going into Pittsburgh. No way. I will take the Steelers in Week 2. Then Week 3, you're going up against the Jameis Winston-less Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday night. I'd be stupid not to pick the Pittsburgh Steelers here in Week 3. Then Week 4, you're going up against the Ravens. I like the Ravens. I think they're a really good team. However, it's going to be in Pittsburgh. We know these games are consistently close, and usually home field advantage plays a big part in those games. So I'll give the win to the Steelers since they will be playing in Pittsburgh. Also on a Sunday night, they've had some crazy games. I think last year was that 39-38 game. Close game. Steelers got the win. I'll give it to the Steelers. Week 5, they're taking on the Falcons. I think the Falcons will be able to pick apart the secondary. The weakest part of this Steelers team is clearly your secondary, and Matt Ryan with Calvin Ridley, with Julio Jones, will be able to, and even Tevin Coleman coming out of the back, he'll be able to tear this secondary to shreds. We've seen it before. It's going to happen again. Falcons get the win in Week 5. Then Week 6, you're going up against the Bengals. I hate the Bengals. I think they're a poorly coached team. You're going up against your former OC, Todd Haley, but he's a bum. So, no, sorry, he's on the Browns. That makes sense. They're bad at hiring coaches. They're still going up against the Bengals, who are still a poorly coached team, and they have good old Marvin Lewis, who is a poor coach. So I'll go with the Steelers in Week 6. Week 7 is a bye. Then Week 8, you're going up against your former offensive coordinator, Todd Haley, for the second time. And coming off a bye, going up against Cleveland, it's an easy win. Then Week 9, you're going up against the Ravens. Again, like I said, these games are typically close. I'm going to give it to the Ravens since it will be in Baltimore. I'm high on this, the dual quarterbacks they got in Joe Flacco and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson looks great. They'll be able to throw different weapons out there, and also not having Ryan Shazier in the middle, not being able to roam left and right is going to be tough, especially when they bring out Jackson. Now, I know T.J. Watt did a fantastic job last year, and I consider him one of the best young linebackers in the league, and that he will be better and grow. However, I don't think he's going to be at the level that Shazier was, and also Shazier was a fantastic athlete, and you're going to need to be a fantastic athlete to stop Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, he might not blow up the stat sheet, but he might do enough to get the Ravens into field goal range. That's going to set up Justin Tucker. More points gives you a better chance of winning. I'll take the Ravens in Baltimore. Then Week 10, you're going up against the Panthers. I think this is going to be a very close game. It's in Pittsburgh, though, so I'll give it to the Steelers. It could be a toss-up here. The Panthers have a great defense. And we've seen before that Big Ben was on and off early on in the season, but he's playing at home. He's much better at home than he is away. And also, again, this is going to be a team that has dynamic playmakers in Juju, in Antonio Brown, and in Le'Veon. So I got to give it to the Steelers, although I do think the Panthers do have a great shot at possibly upsetting you guys. And also, I think the last Thursday night game that the Steelers played, because this is a Thursday night game, was that blowout, I think, of the Chiefs last year. Correct me if I'm wrong. Then Week 11, you're going up to the Jaguars, who own you, beat you twice last year. They're going to beat you again, especially in Jacksonville, so that's a win for the Jags in Week 11. Then Week 12, you're going up against the Broncos. Some people are high on the Broncos this year. I think Ricky Whitmer is one of them. However, I am not, especially going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I will take the Steelers in Week 12. Then Week 13, I am massively high on San Diego. Now, San Diego did already deal with a massive injury to Jason Verrett, but he was also injured last year, and this secondary was fine. And they have one of the best pass rushes in the NFL. Big Ben under pressure. It's going to be a bad sight. He's getting older, and their run game is fairly decent. And Le'Veon running behind this line that isn't spectacular in Pittsburgh. I mean, it's not bad. It's not one of the worst in the NFL, but it isn't Dallas Cowboys level. I think the great pressure that the line of San Diego will be able to put on, especially paired with the secondary, will be able to eliminate the explosiveness of the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. And then going up against Phillip Rivers, Melvin Gordon, I think the Chargers will be able to get enough in Week 13 to get a win. Then Week 14, you are playing the Raiders. While I do think the Raiders are going to be better than they were last year, they're not going to be good enough to beat the Steelers. So that's a win in Week 14 for the Steelers. Then week 15, you go up against the Patriots. I already previewed this. You're losing. Then for a third straight Monday night game, you're going up against third straight Sunday night game, you're going up against the Saints in New Orleans. This is a tough stretch of the Jaguars, Broncos. Hell, you can even stretch this back to week 9. This is a rough stretch of the Ravens, Panthers, Jaguars, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, Patriots, and now the Saints. I think this is probably a tough one to pull out, especially being in New Orleans, going up against Drew Brees. It's a smart offense. They're not going to turn the ball over, and Saints had one of the best defenses last year. I'll give it to the Saints in New Orleans. And finally, in week 17, you're taking on the Bengals. I'm not high on the Bengals. Steelers get the win and finish at 10-6. I think I said 9-7 when I started, but I changed the Panthers one when I was looking at it week 10. So you finished 10-6, just like I had you last year. You guys are a good team. You're going to win the AFC North. You're going to make the playoffs, and you're probably going to be either a third seed or a second seed. I have the Patriots going 14-2. If you play us in the playoffs, you're going to lose again. History repeats itself. You're not going to beat the Patriots. Sorry. Better luck next time. But even next time, Big Ben's going to be one more year older, and Le'Veon Bell is probably not going to be on this team. So clock probably ran out on Pittsburgh this year. They're not going to have enough to get over that hump, especially with that defense not having Shazier and a weakened secondary. But let me know what you think. I know that Pittsburgh fans are proud and vocal, and they will not hold back on my predictions. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. But check out mostvaluablepodcast.com if you actually like this prediction and you don't want to miss any of our other predictions we have for this season. And also check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. But I've been Sean Anderson, and we'll see you next time.